Okay, let's do it. We are going to wind down on YouTube, ending on YouTube. We're moving in 3, 2, 1 now. I think we're not alone now. What do we got here? Are we good? Okay, booyah. 2,700 on Rumble. Now Viva's watching it skyrocketing, so don't diss the YouTubers. Now we're at 3,800. And it's going up. I'd much rather watch numbers go up than go down from my experience on the market. Okay. Have I forgotten anything with Jordan Peterson? If I can find that tweet, my humorous requested clarifying retweet, I'll do it. You know what? Salty Cracker just retweeted something. Let's get to this. It's January 6th. It's the 2-year anniversary of the darkest day in America. If you're Adam Kinzinger, what's her face? Liz Cheney. Rob Reich tweets out. Rob, I don't make fun of his height for obvious reasons. I'm not a tall man myself, but I don't believe in making fun of people for what they look like. Can't help it. And even if you could help it, not my thing. I had no idea Rob Reich was shorter than me. Let's leave it at that. But he's got the most idiotic takes in the Twitterverse. Like, they're so bad. They're so bad. I wonder if it's a real person making the tweets or if it's like managed by an account of idiots. Rob Reich. Or Reich, depending on how you want to pronounce it. 2 years ago, Capitol was attacked. Capitol with a capital. 2 years ago, Capitol was attacked. Man who incited it is now running unopposed for Republican nomination for president. His co-conspirators in Congress are now deciding on next speaker and on what terms. None have been prosecuted. It's so dumb. I'm going to be courteous as I can. This take is so dumb. It's so ignorant. It's so devoid of pretty much any factual basis, in fact. The man who incited it by saying protest peacefully, although they made hay out of what did it say? Gonna be wild? Will be wild. They made hay out of the will be wild about the reference to the protest. The man who said protest peacefully incited the attack. He incited it. When he said, protest peacefully, back the blue, we are the party of law and order, he incited. If that's incitement, you are an unintelligent human being. I will respect you. I will, I'll put a cork on your fork so you don't injure your eye. It's unintelligent. It's illogical. It shows a brain that connects dots that don't exist and then does not connect dots that are right in front of your face. He's running unopposed for the Republican. First of all, most people don't announce their runs 2 years in advance, but Seth, he is for the time being running unopposed. His co-conspirators. So he has now called Trump a criminal, and he has now called other politicians co-conspirators for having conspired to have committed nothing of a crime. None have been prosecuted, by the way. None have been prosecuted, although Trump was impeached for his role in inciting the erection, to quote the Freudian slip of Chuck Schumer, but acquitted by the Senate. So not tried in the court of law, but impeachment being quasi-criminal, was impeached by the House and acquitted by the Senate. But Rob Reich says none have been prosecuted. Well, you know what? You also don't get prosecuted for things that are not crimes. But let's just see, are we ratioing him? We're ratioing him, but I made a joke. I didn't know Ray Epps was running for president. Talking about the man who incited an attack.
We need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. Peacefully.
Look at that guy. He's embarrassed. He's embarrassed.
Spread the word. As soon as the president's done speaking, we go to the Capitol.
Oh yeah, and Salty Cracker. And by the way, you see Julie Kelly on the bottom there because I had asked maybe if Julie Kelly can find time to pop in to celebrate January 6th. We can go over the latest, but She's doing a Twitter space now, so I'm not sure that she'll be able to make it. And then we got Salty Cracker. Happy Jan 6 Fed boys. Let me go to Rumble here. Can you imagine? It's been 2 years. They have tried to turn January 6th into a day that will live in infamy, like Pearl Harbor, like 9/11, because some of these morons, for lack of a better word, some of these politically motivated, awful people have actually likened the events of January 6th, in which there was violence, a protest got violent, during which 2 people were killed, arguably 2 people. Ashley Babbitt shot at point blank in the neck by a police officer who was never sanctioned, was never charged, despite his despite his questionable history of having once left a firearm in the Capitol building bathroom. Shot point blank in the neck by a Capitol police officer. Roseanne Boyland. There are people who believe that there is sufficient evidence to say that she was struck by police officers and subsequently died. Her death was attributed as a medical emergency. Those are the deaths. There were others who died of medical emergencies, allegedly. In the wake of January 6th, there were apparently more police officers than you would think who took their own lives. But on the day of, other than being a violent protest in certain areas, those pockets of violence have since, come to define January 6th as a whole. Forget the fact that there were hundreds of thousands of people peacefully protesting outside the Capitol. Forget the fact that many people were let into the Capitol, waved in by police, doors opened by police. There were pockets of violence. There were broken windows. There was that guy who tried to steal the lectern. What was his name? The guy who tried to steal the lectern. There was QAnon shaman who came in with a flag on a spear. Horrible weapon. It was the most unarmed insurrection imaginable. People have actually compared it to 9/11. People in government still perpetuate the lie that Officer Brian Sicknick, was killed that day. New York Times has yet to explicitly correct and retract that story, in which they blamed his death on a group of pro-Trump mob. I forget what the guy's name is, the congressman who in the government, as recently as a few months ago, said that Officer Sicknick was beaten to death. And by the way, just yesterday, I can't vouch for any of it, but Jake Tapper yesterday put out a tweet saying that Sicknick's family, the estate of Sicknick, is going to be suing Donald Trump for wrongful death. I have yet to see any article confirming it. It's an amazing thing. Jake the fake Tapper tweets that out with no substantiating evidence here. And I would like to see it if there is here. Just in, Jake Tapper, the estate of Officer Brian Sicknick, who died after the January 6, 2021 Capitol attack, suing Donald Trump for wrongful death, seeking monetary damages of $10 million or more. To which I said, if this is true, it would be one of the most frivolous lawsuits to have ever been filed, especially because the official medical report confirmed Officer Sicknick died of natural causes. Have you got a source link confirming the story? Here we go. Reuters. Okay, well, we got this now. Let me just see which we're at here. Yeah, let's do this in real time, people. U.S. Capitol Police officer's family sues Trump over death. January 5, on the 2-year anniversary. I'm sure it's an accident, the announcement. The estate of U.S. Capitol Police officer who died a day after January 6 riots sued former President Trump for wrongful death on Thursday. That's yesterday, claiming that he incited his supporters to commit violence that day. We're going to go over the theory of the case here, by the way, in a second. I'll see if I can find the actual lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed in U.S. District Court against Trump on behalf of the estate of Officer Brian Sicknick, who died at age 42 from a series of strokes on January 7. A medical examiner said that Sicknick had not suffered any injuries during the attack on the U.S. Capitol, where lawmakers were certifying results of the presidential election, ruling that Sicknick's death was due to natural causes, but said the violent events of January 6th likely played a role in his condition. Defendant Trump intentionally claims in the court papers. Where's the court? I'm going to have to find the court papers. Anybody who has the court papers, flip them to me. Defendant Trump intentionally riled up the crowd and directed and encouraged a mob to attack the U.S. Capitol and attack those who opposed them. Sicknick's estate claims in the court papers. The violence that followed and the injuries that violence caused, including the injuries sustained by Officer Sicknick and his eventual death, were reasonable and foreseeable consequences of Defendant Trump's words and conduct. Can you imagine the mental gymnastics? There's no doubt it's a tragedy. A tragedy does not mean turning the estate or the survivors into the monsters that they think they are battling. Suing Trump because even if a mob had in fact been responsible for the death of Brian Sicknick on January 6th, Trump's words and conduct were the reasonable and the death was the reasonable and foreseeable consequences of Donald Trump saying protest peacefully. I mean, and now we're going to say, okay, we admit, we recognize the medical expert said he died of natural causes, but the events of January 6th might have played a role. Words that themselves were not incitement were in fact peaceful, literally, to lead people who with no connection to Donald Trump, who were not listening to any orders at all, to go get rowdy during a protest. And then someone dies of a stroke the day after, but maybe something that occurred the day before could have possibly played a factor. Therefore, Donald Trump should be held liable for $10 million. I mean, it's laughable, but insultingly so on its face. Unbelievable. Did I just get a $100 Rumble rant? One orange cat. Thank you very much. But now I'm reading the chat. One orange cat, a $100 Rumble rant says, my brother might not attend my son's wedding in May because I don't believe in the violent insurrection. And I told him 2 years ago, the killers were the cops and feds who incited it. What makes me genuinely sad in life is how politics or positions on issues have become litmus tests for people's ability to engage and interact with others. I can understand someone thinks Donald Trump incited an insurrection. I might think that they're lacking a few screws in the logical part of their brain, and that's as far as it goes. The fact that it can cause such problems with family and friends, and it's not like I don't have friends who once upon a time would send me every anti-Trump, anti-Florida piece of article that they could get, because they don't actually care about any meaningful human interaction. It's all about making me agree with the way they think when it's not going to happen. This makes me sad, one orange cat. But like people have said to me in my journey throughout this, you're going to piss people off with your opinions. You're going to piss people off with your silence. And you will lose friends and you will lose family. And that's the price of having principles. That's the price also of being vocal about it. There is an alternative. The question is the alternative any better? And people who are ideologically intolerant to such a degree, are they people that are worth having in your life in the first place? But it is very upsetting. My brother might not attend my son's wedding. We got a $3 Rumble rant from Ken Media Reader. I grew up with the Ukrainian Christmas. I can see headlines coming. Trudeau bans Ukrainian Christmas as extremist views held by a fringe group and not representing majority of Canadians. I have to know what you're talking about there, but I know that it's the Serbian Christmas yesterday and today because they're on the Gregorian calendar and celebrating the holiday at a different date. So it's the 2-year anniversary. Oh, this has been up the entire time. Sorry, guys. 2-year anniversary, the estate suing Donald Trump because when he said, and let me just get it, when he said, protest peacefully, we are on the side, do not do what they want you to do. Trump. The last 2 tweets from his account before he was yeeted. Do we remember these? It's amazing. He's been allowed back on. He's been re-platformed on Twitter by Musk, but has not used it. The last two tweets, the ones that Twitter, the God, deemed were being received as incitement. To all those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th. Violence! In Twitter's twisted, demented mind at the time, in Vijay God's twisted, demented, partisan, political hack of a brain at the time, this was an indication to incite people to protest the inauguration. It was, don't go because it won't be safe for us to go because there will be violence. This is another one of his last tweets, January 8th. Oh, sorry, we're not there yet. To the 75 million great American patriots, they took issue with the term patriot, I believe, who voted for me, America first, and make America great again, will have a giant voice long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. That's violence. That was deemed to be some form of objectionable thought. This is January 6th, everyone. You remember, understand why they wanted to yeet his account? Because people might actually be able to see the evidence. I am asking for, this is January 6th. Recall in that sham of a January 6th committee, that kangaroo court of a committee, bipartisan with Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, they faulted Trump for not immediately getting on television and telling people to be peaceful that day. That would have ended everything. Instead, he sat in that room and watched on TV as the violence occurred. Do these idiots not know how many people watch TV versus how many people follow Trump on Twitter? 70. How many followers? He had 85 million followers at the time. If there were a bipartisan adversarial aspect of that committee, my question would have been, how many people do you think watch TV versus how many people watch Donald Trump on Twitter? Okay. Oh, you recognize that it's exponentially more of the people involved who follow Trump on Twitter and would not necessarily see him on CNN, MSNBC, or even Fox News. Oh, so what did he do on Twitter the day of? Oh, he says, I am asking everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence, exclamation point. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. Does it tell you what time it was tweeted at? 3:13 p.m. What was the second one that they didn't want people seeing? Oh, yeah. Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. 2:38 p.m., January 6th. Oh, no, but he didn't go on CNN, a network that nobody watches, to condemn it. Had he done that, surely none of this would have happened. He only went on Twitter in multiple posts to 75, 80 million people in real time and told them what his true message was. But no, it doesn't matter. Okay, let me see what we got here. Chris Rumble's in the house. That's actually the CEO of Rumble. Chris, Happy New Year, sir. Viva, show everyone the new Rumble design at the end of your show. Chris, if you couldn't DM me the new Rumble design, where is it? I'm going to see this. Booyah. Chris, CEO of Rumble, a man who has walked the walk and talked the talk. And when France comes in and says, you better deplatform RT in France, Chris says, thanks, but no thanks. And if you want to deprive your citizens of free access to the internet, you can go ahead and be the tyrant. I'm not going to go ahead and be the censor. Chris, thank you very much. I will 100%. $10 Rumble ad from MRDRN, Mr. Dern. I am so upset that this Florida Republican leader just told me real vets are congressmen who want McScatter. Okay, no, hold on. I think I see there. Just go to rumble.com. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do it right now. Rumble.com. Well, I see that I'm on the front page. Oh, okay, hold on one second. Let me just make sure I'm understanding this in real time here. Where are we? So the first one says the Rumble design. Okay, good. I thought it was a Rumble of the logo. Hold on one second. Here, people, check this out. Booyah. Let me see how it works. Here, there. I'm right there. Nice, sweet. I'm not going to go into my account. Second Low Live is on. Oh, upcoming. Who else is live right now? Benny Johnson is live. How it could end. The Rubin Report. Massive Rumble update. Matt Kors. Viva Frei live with George Alexopoulos, who I see now in the backstage. So I should probably, I see him in the backstage. It either looks like he's in a shark cage, or let me see if I can make out what that is. We're gonna get Alex on here. Chris, thank you very much. It looks beautiful. It looks sleek, and I'm gonna go tinker with it. And I know other people are gonna go tinker with it, and they're gonna let me know what they think, and then I will in turn let you know what they think. So awesome stuff, and thank you very much for the Rumble rants. Now I'm lost. Where am I? Okay, I'm going back here, and let's see what we got. Light, bright, dark mode. Light, bright. What is dark mode? It's basically YouTube, but that's fine. Hey, Dauber213, I'm gonna have to go tinker with it, but it looks great. Chris says exit life. Yes, Rumble is more refined for sure, says Dreadsphere. Okay, amazing. Now what I'm doing is I'm gonna take that out of the stream. Taking it out. George, I'm gonna bring you in. Why do I always get very nervous that I'm making mistakes on names? Neuroses is a terrible thing. Okay, good. It is Alexopoulos. And the way I remembered that, I don't know how I remember that. All right. George, do you need 30 seconds or should I bring you in? Good. Okay, we're doing it. Stop screen. Bring in George. Sir, how goes the battle?
It's all right. I am, in fact, in a shark cage. I'm underwater at this very moment.
So the funny thing is, okay, so satisfy my neuroses. Move your camera or move your body. There you go. 4 cents.
That's interesting. You'd be a horrible artist if you have that kind of OCD. Like
it's not only would I be a horrible artist, I'd be a very annoying husband, which I am.
Well, you'd be a great artist too, maybe. The best ones are pretty crazy.
Well, let me see. Oh, hold on 1 second. Check this out. Oi! This is an actual piece from my childhood.
Oh, sweet.
I think I've showed it before, and someone knew exactly what it was. Here, I'll bring it up there.
Is that ink?
It is ink. It was done with those what do they call those, feather pens? You know, the things where you dip the pen in.
Quill. I don't remember, but yeah, I know which ones you mean.
And it was the technique was cross hatching. Now, I think the last time I showed it, people immediately, or some people knew it was the National Geographic frog, and I put a doobie in its mouth because I was in high school, and that was the thing to do back then.
It's very edgy.
Okay, George. Let me look for people who don't know who. I've never met you in person before. We've known each other on Twitter. I've seen your work. I've seen your Twitter feed, which is fun for anybody who doesn't know. But who are you? Tell the world. And I've been doing my homework. I haven't found no scandals as of yet, other than the fact that you're a conservative.
Well, plenty of scandals in the sense of like woke people coming after me, I guess. But I guess I would be known for being a political / current events cartoonist. The past 3-ish years, I've been known on Twitter. Before that, I was around, like, let's say Reddit and stuff. And then Reddit decided to run me off. So in the years prior, I was there, and I've been making video games, comics for the longest time, graphic novels. But I think I'm known for political cartooning, leaning center-right, I suppose. Libertarian-ish, I don't know.
And now, so you were, for people who don't know the environment at Reddit, you started Reddit. How long were you there for, and what were you doing on Reddit? Like using it as a platform to share your content?
Yeah, I mean, Reddit has been one of those websites for the longest time. I'm going to say since 2008, maybe a little after that. I was posting my comics there. I was getting work. So I was an indie game developer, freelancing. I would do art assets for all kinds of like little cute games or 3D models and texture work, and just whoever wanted to hire me for however long they wanted to. You know, I had my price, whatever, they would negotiate. So yeah, I would find work through that. And I guess, long story short, is one day I posted a few strips that got really popular really quickly. I hit the front page a few times before this, and that was fun. But this one comic hit like the #1 spot of all time. And then people started saying, who is this guy? I wasn't that known, I suppose. So they ran to my Twitter, found out I followed people like Shapiro and stuff and Crowder. And they're like, oh, he's a conservative. We accidentally voted a conservative to our #1 spot on r/comics at the time. And since I've been dethroned. But anyway, so they found out, you know, I was a secret, you know, whatever. I'm not a commie, so I suppose that makes me literally Hitler to them. So they ran me off their website and tried to dox me. That was fun. And then I had to rebuild everything from scratch on Twitter. And that was, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, something like that. 2018, I'm going to say.
And try to dox you. Have you been, I mean, is George Alexopoulos your real name?
It is, and from my cup, you could see I love New Jersey. I'm not going to say if I live in New Jersey. I do live in New Jersey.
Well, I mean, at some point, when you become a public figure of sorts,
Yeah.
you become doxxed in the sense that people know who you are, and they can, in theory, find out. The question is whether or not they can leverage your social media stuff against your private life, your profession. But so, independent cartoonist, how do you get into that?
Into that, I mean, I was working as an independent. I was working at a print shop part-time for many years. I'm going to say 10 years ago, something like that. And then I decided in 2014, I had won I'll center myself here. I had won an international manga award where they flew me out there and gave me a nice award. It was like this huge honorable thing. I was a huge manga fan, and it's my discipline, let's say. So after that, I decided, even though I'm not a professional full-timer yet, I decided to quit and pursue art as a full-time thing, even though comics in the United States are in kind of a weird place, like DC and Marvel and all that stuff. I couldn't find work at the big four, but I decided I'm going to try to pursue it independently. And I guess I've been stumbling along ever since. Some years are better than others in terms of income, if that's the question. Like I recently just had my Patreon pulled last month.
So why?
They gave me. Can I curse on your?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they gave me the same old bullshit, answers of like, oh, if you could take down these 3 strips and make sure you don't post anything like this anywhere on the internet ever again. So they tried to editorialize my content, basically. So it was the whole thing of, we're not going to cancel you, but here, put this gun to your head and pull the trigger for us, and then we'll have you continue work for us. So
I'm showing one of your, I don't know if you call them cartoons or comics, and I don't want to be demeaning because they're works of art in my opinion, but showing one so people can get a feel for what you do, related to January 6th in a sense. But what was the essence of the 3 that Patreon suggested you remove?
I didn't check because there's too many to count, really. It was just a matter of time. We knew they were going to pull me at some point. I can check for you.
No, I just want to.
It could be as simple as a strip where, those people who were gluing their hands to paintings, those environmentalists. Yep. I drew one where he had been injured in such a way where lots of spaghetti sauce was splattered all over the wall. And I'm sure that could be interpreted as violence, but it was spaghetti sauce. So there are all kinds of strips like that. Or I joke about the rainbow people, let's say. I draw them in unflattering ways. And as you know, they're very, what's the word? They're the underdogs in today's society, so we can't make fun of those underdogs.
The protected political class. I want to show, hold on. I'm going to pull up a few more while you tell us this. So there's, I don't know. I haven't seen any that call for violence. I've seen a number that are just the artistic way. It's very much reminiscent of that, the scene in Kill Bill. Was it the scene in Kill Bill that became the cartoon scene when it was showing how the evil guy got killed and stabbed through the bed? The style is much like that. The way you make Biden look is much like that. But I, as far as I've seen, and I did some research, no ever real call for violence in any way. No glorification of violence. No targeted harassment, if we know what that is anymore.
Well, I'm not a jerk in the sense that I'm going to draw a public figure and say, hey, it would be a shame if they got hurt in this way. I don't necessarily think, it's too much low-hanging fruit. And no, I don't think that's polite. I'm going to say I never did it, but I may be wrong. But a hypothetical person who doesn't have a name, it's just a drawing of a person, might be getting hurt. Like I wanted to draw some guy getting run over by a car, not a real person, but a person who is like, who stands for X, Y, or Z, getting run over. And then I'm like, no, I don't need people saying, oh, he wants them to be run over. But then sometimes I'll draw a strip where violence, I drew when those people were degloving their thighs to create fake penises. I drew that. That was pretty graphic, but that's encouraged these days. But that's the thing. What's the difference between a drawing and a photograph, let's say? If a photograph of something gnarly can be posted, why shouldn't a drawing? I don't see I don't know. They could object about anything, though.
Well, they don't need an excuse. I'm pulling up some just so people can get a feel for this. How do you do these? Are these all digital, or are these?
Let's see.
I mean, I'll take the first one that comes up here.
Sure.
I love it when. First of all, your depictions of Nancy Pelosi are I'll say hilarious, but some people might not find them hilarious. Okay, here we go.
Let's see. Is that an example of what you want me to mention?
Yeah, let's see. How do you do this? Is this digital, or is this like airbrush?
Just digital Photoshop, basic. You pencil it out, then you fill in the colors, and then you polish it up. I give myself maybe a max of 4 hours per strip. And it's some of them look better than others, I suppose. But that's an example of a digital painting, I suppose. My background is in, like I mentioned, games development and concept art. So I bring tools and tricks from concept art into cartoons. So my cartoons, I guess, don't look like, say, a New Yorker strip, unless I intentionally lampoon their style, for example. The reason my strips look the way they do is because I'm drawing them as if I'm doing concept art for a game or a comic or something like that. It's a quick and dirty style. So a lot of the times, if you're familiar with Impressionists, they use a lot of tricks. Like if you choose the right color and make the right shapes, generally you can trick the human eye into thinking. Like people joke about my hands are very badly drawn because I just kind of make the shape of a hand, but I don't care about rendering each little finger in detail. I think every panel has a focus point, like say a facial expression. And if you nail the expression, everything around it kind of gets ignored. You only really read a strip in a few seconds anyway. So I think autists like myself or OCD people might notice, the colors are wrong, or that's not what a gun looks like, something like that. But I think the majority of people don't care. They get the joke. They hit like, hopefully, and keep scrolling. That's my goal.
Now, if I were going to say, if anybody should be involved in an NFT for whatever those are worth, like I could buy that digital art and be happy to. To plug yourself, how do you sell your stuff? Is it available for public acquisition, or is it freely available online?
It is, well, digitally. You could just find it. I mean, Instagram's the best way to find my stuff. I'm still at gprime85 on Instagram. I do sell collections of my book on my Etsy page, which is linked on my Twitter and my Instagram. And as far as buying copies, most of my comics are collected in physical collection form, so you could buy that on Etsy. But one of my books got pulled. Actually, you showed the strip you showed with the Confederate flag got pulled from Etsy because they said they don't like depictions of hate symbols, something like that. Mind, it was a Confederate flag, but the strip was about a guy infiltrating the far right. Yeah. The joke was he was making a bad lampoon of them by dressing up like a Confederate flag. Hey, praise Trump and pass the ammo. It was a joke, but that got pulled anyway. So that is not available. But I made political cartoonings in the past, Mr. Frei. I'm now a children's book author. If you've heard, maybe you see we made a book, a children's book. It's perfectly, and I'm not saying this with any sarcasm, it's perfectly wholesome, uncancelable as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not even the person running the shop. If you go to my Twitter, you can see it's a completely different account. Has nothing to do with me. I just make the book. And that shop is called Polkadot, Pokidot, and I encourage everyone to go there. It has nothing to do with me. I say this again, it has nothing to do with me. It's uncancelable. And if it is canceled, there's some funny business going on. Children's shop, very wholesome.
All right, now, well, George, this is the bigger question. Bringing this all back into contemporary politics, are you following what's going on right now with I don't know, they're up to the 11th vote of...
11?
Yeah, well, I know it was 10 as of last night. When they reached the 7th, there were some people floating the idea that this is how Trump is going to become Speaker of the House. Are you following this? What's your view on McCarthy? You're an American born and raised, like you've been in New Jersey your whole life.
Yeah, my whole life.
So you probably know more about this. What's your feeling? What's your take of what's going on right now, good or bad? And should people just shut up and vote for McCarthy?
I'm not the person to ask about that in the sense, like I'll watch this like it's a building on fire. I'm just going to watch it, have my popcorn out. There's nothing as a citizen I can do anymore. I think the last time November was the last time I thought maybe my vote counted, even though it's impossible. I live in New Jersey. I didn't even have to vote. I went without ID and they still let me vote. So I, as a citizen, have nothing to do with any of this. So I try not to worry about things I can't control. I'm watching the fire and the dumpster fire like everybody else. I think it's stupid as hell. I think the Republican Party, I'm not a Republican, by the way, I'm independent, right-leaning, but I'm independent. I think they are toothless sons of bitches that are split into many factions who can't get any work done, just like the Democrat Party. I don't like them. I definitely don't like them. I don't know what they're going to do. I know they're split into factions, and McCarthy, nobody on my side of, I don't know, they don't like him. They call him, phony baloney and all that stuff. Should they continue? I don't know. I mean, I don't think Trump being selected is even remotely realistic. I don't know what their move is there. What do I say? I think it's stupid. I think they're stupid. I think they're useless. And I don't think anything's going to really change until 24. But maybe even then, nothing's going to change. So I'm just kind of, for the next 2 years, I'm doing other stuff, to be honest. I think there's nothing left for me to do right now. In my opinion, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, now here's the thing. So first of all, how old are you? Did you say you're 33? And why am I thinking you said that?
God bless you for saying that. I'm 37.
37. Okay. So you've been in America your entire life. You've lived through politics. I'm new to American politics in the sense that I've only been following it. 2016 is when I got awakened in a sense.
Okay.
First, you live in New Jersey politically. Have you ever thought about defecting and going? We see a lot of New Yorkers and New Jerseyers down in Florida. Have you thought about defecting?
Yes, and I would have, except other external factors are preventing it, and that's okay. I'm not the person who can decide these things. This is, I would need to convince other people, let's say.
Okay, and
I want to, though.
Now, has the evolution of politics in America gotten worse, or has it always been like this, but we're just becoming more aware of it now?
Fun question. I became politically aware, I guess, around 9/11. So I would have been in high school, Daily Show. I was artsy-fartsy left-ish, and then I migrated right because I had a strong backing in, say, Christianity. So I had a lot of conservative values hammered into me from a young age, but I was also artsy-fartsy. So I was a little bit of both. 9/11 happens, and then I'm paying attention to the Afghanistan stuff. I wanted to sort of go into the military just as a young man. It's like, yeah, I want to fight whoever did this. And then it turns out it was just a clusterfuck, and we don't even know who's behind this, and we're just invading people for no reason at this point. It's Iraq and all that stuff. Anyway, so I didn't love the Bush years. I didn't love conservatives during those years. I definitely didn't like Obama during those years. So I was just homeless, whatever. In 2016, I voted for Gary, what's his face? The pothead. Do you remember who? Maybe not.
No, I can only think of
Gary
Trump.
Johnson. Gary Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah, 2016, I voted for Johnson because I'm like, all right, Trump, surely this is a joke. So Trump gets in, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll join the party. This is stupid. And over the years, I'm like, he's actually doing a decent enough job, at least from where I was sitting. But no, I've never thought politics from where I was sitting. I never liked politicians, let's say. I think they're all sleazy. I think they're all assholes. I like the outsider symbol. I'm not answering your question well.
No, that's good. It's good enough. I mean, well, first of all, when we're done, I'm going to get back into. I got some articles in the lineup to show exactly why people just hate politicians at large. But I guess the question is this: above and beyond where you see yourself going in short, in the near future, where do you see America going in the near future? And are you optimistic or pessimistic?
I'm going to say I want to be optimistic. I think there's going to be a lot of bumping our heads along the way. I don't want to be pessimistic because it's like, why get up in the morning then if you're going to give up? I think 2024 is going to be another clusterfuck. Trump versus DeSantis is going to be a huge problem. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Like, there's a lot of people who say never DeSantis on the right. I am of the opinion that DeSantis is probably a stronger symbol to get behind, especially in 24. He's more stable, let's say. I think Trump's hour has probably passed. I can't confirm this. I can go into the reasons why, but I think he's not the man that we need in 24, let's say. So I think it's for the next 2 years going to be about just hang on and try to survive. Probably it's going to get nasty for a few years. And I don't know, unless World War III breaks out, probably we can pull it together in 24, let's say conservative-ish. But who knows what kind of damage can be done in the next 2 years. So I'm in survival mode, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know if I'll be a cartoonist in the next few months, to be honest. So I may just be a janitor watching everything fall apart around me. So
well, it's your profile says unemployed cartoonist, but your stuff is I mean, it's beautiful. It's unique, and I think that the message clearly reverberates with people. George, what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to put up all your I'm going to put up your links in the pinned comments. But I thought people know who you are, but I think more people should know who you are. But if you give up on the illustration, you're going to go get a regular job and be miserable?
Miserable. Working is something to be proud of, sir. No, honestly, I think I've been trying to make this work for a long time. I'm a very stubborn and proud bastard, and I've been offered work as an illustrator. I just don't like being told what to do, I guess. So it's of my own doing if I decide to become a janitor. But right now, honestly, I think I'm going to still do political strips or current events strips. I'm just not making any money off it, so I have to find a full-time occupation. Right now, I don't know if I came off as I was joking. So I am a children's book author now. So we're doing that as a real push. Again, like I'm serious. Like there's this book on my Twitter, if anyone wants to check it out, Goofberry Pie. Like it's actually for kids. It's sweet. Like it's timeless, and there's no agenda behind like some secret political thing or something. It's just a sweet book for kids. And parents my age, our age, I suppose, they have younger kids and they say, we just want good content for the kids that isn't secretly trying to get them to accept things that we find detestable, let's say. So we're trying that for the next few months. It's my wife's shop, actually. I don't know why I'm pretending like this is some secret thing. She makes like really amazing, beautiful plushies, and we're both making books. And so she's got that business going, and I'm boosting her business up by making a book for it. So if that works out, at least we can cover income on that end of things. And whatever ends up happening with me professionally, I might just do graphic novels again. We'll see. I can do political strips. I just don't know how to monetize it without. Oh, did I lose you?
No, you're frozen, but I can still hear you.
I see. I'll restart my camera. But
all right, well, let's see if this comes back. And everybody, I'm going to get to some of the remaining articles in the backdrop after George's interview. We got some interesting stuff about McCarthy and where he takes money from. There's been an interesting article in CBS, no less. So Bankman-Fried donated $40 million to Democrats, but apparently donated $1 million to McCarthy, and some other amazing tweets. We'll see if George does come back to see us off. Let me see what else we got in the background here. And then we've got good news. I mean, while we wait for George, let's just deal with the good news for the second. Oh, no, he's back. We're going to come to the good news afterwards. Demar Hamlin, is speaking. Okay, let's bring back George real quick. Add to stream. All right, George, here we go.
I'm very sorry about that.
Don't worry.
No, just in the middle of my soliloquy, I was
you got frozen.
It doesn't matter. So the point being is, if you guys want to support me nowadays, I would say grab one of these children's book, grab a plushie, and you'll be helping my family out, if not me directly. And then in the next few months, maybe I'll announce something else.
All right. Well, you're freezing up again, George, but send me all of the links. I'm going to pin them in both YouTube and Rumble and blast them out. And I'll keep following you. You do great stuff. So keep it up. And I guess.
Well, thanks for the invitation. Let's talk without my stupid hardware failures next time.
Absolutely. Go. Have a good day, but send me the links. I'll post them up.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's George, people. If you didn't know who he was before, you'll know who he is now, because the artwork, I remember, I don't want to ruin the scene. It was Kill Bill 1, right? Where I forget who was remembering their traumatic experience from when they were children. And it was the super violent scene of the kid under the bed. Chat, help me out who it was. Help me out with who that was. And in the vivabarneslaw.locals.com, Eldal says, remember, Obama attacked twice as many countries as did the Bushes. According to Jimmy Dore, yes, says Sting. Obama, I mean, we're talking about, okay, doesn't matter. Let's have a little bit of good news for the day, or at least a little bit of the miracles for the day. Demar Hamlin, let me just get the story back up here. Okay, here we go. Demar Hamlin is speaking now. They've taken out the tube, and, you know, what always, I love the idea of miracles. And I love the idea of, like, you know, people's prayers having been answered. And this is the cynic, and this is the little dark side of my brain. It's like, okay, you know, one person's prayers having been answered, and people say, you know, prayers work. And then for everyone else whose prayers did not get answered, what then? Let's just set aside the Debbie Downer want, and bask in the good news. Demar Hamlin is speaking after the team is speaking with team after breathing tube is removed in major health updates. So let's just, you know, set aside all of the potentially quasi-political questions about Demar Hamlin, massive cardiac arrest on the field. I think it was Monday night. The positive news regarding Demar Hamlin's health condition continued on Friday, with the Buffalo Bills announcing that his breathing tube was removed after he was finally able to speak with his team and medical staff providing his care. The Bills provided another major update on Hamlin after he suffered cardiac arrest during Monday night's game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Breaking news, I guess. So that's the extent of it. But good news. Someone's prayers have been answered. People's prayers have, you know, if there is that element of goodness that prayers and everyone's energy can bring to the world, it brought something good to the world. So politics aside, all of the other issues about the tragedy aside, he's breathing on his own, speaking. From what I read, cognitive faculties are impaired, and it's going to be just, you know, the physical road to recovery after what he went through, which is tremendously serious. Rob A says, Ochi Run, Lucy Lou. That's right. Ochi Run, Lucy Lou character. Rob A, $1 Ramadan. Thank you very much. That scene, I would watch an entire movie done in that style. Alan Hogan says, George is amazing, and I bought his book, Gooseberry Pie. It's nice. He's an amazing guy. Yeah. Okay. Let's get back to that's just the law of politics, people. As they are now going for the, I don't know, whatever, they're at the 10th, the 11th vote. McCarthy is not getting the votes to become Speaker of the House. The process has revealed corruption on the right, racism on the left, and from the most odd of individuals, I'll say alleged corruption and alleged racism coming from Cori Bush on the left, and corruption potentially. Now I understand why people do not trust McCarthy and do not want McCarthy as Speaker of the House. Here's one article. Funny enough, it came out in December 15, 2022. You know, there were the revelations that Sam Bankman-Fried FTX scandal, which I genuinely believe is some form of Democrat money laundering scheme, insofar as 90% of donations, political donations, went to Democrats, if not more. Sam Bankman-Fried came out the other day and said, "Oh, no. I gave about the same to both parties. It's just that I gave the donations to the Republicans with dark money because it would, you know, media would have freaked the F out. So you can't trace it. It's I can't give you any examples of the dark money that I gave to the Republicans to make me their number 3 donor. You just have to take my word for it because I'm a pathological liar." All right. Sam Bankman-Fried donated over $40 million. That's Sam Bankman-Fried himself, not his executives who donated another close to 30, not FTX or FTX org, which donated, according to Musk, potentially upwards of $1 billion. Where did it go? Well, there's an interesting one. Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder and the former CEO of cryptocurrency exchange FTX, made about $40 million in political donations in 2022, according to CBS. Okay, Bankman-Fried was charged with a variety of scandals, yada, yada. We don't care. He's currently in jail in the Bahamas. Well, he was at the time. Now he's been extradited. Democrat donations. Public records of Bankman-Fried's money show it primarily went to support Democratic committees and candidates. He donated $6 million to the House Majority PAC, the main outside group supporting House Democrats. He also gave $250,000 to the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee and $650,000. But that's not what we care about. Is this the right article? Here we go. Republican donations. Bankman. Is this the article? Here we go. Okay, fine. Republican donations. Bankman-Fried said in an interview in late November, yada, 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 it was roughly equal. Reporters would freak the F out if I gave to Republicans because they're all super liberal. I didn't want to have that fight. And so I just made all the Republican ones dark. Just like that. Dark. Untraceable. It's not like the money actually left an account and went somewhere that you can identify. No, just dark, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. One federal judge levied against Bankman-Fried. One federal charge levied against Bankman-Fried alleges that he and allies made political donations under other people's names, which would be a campaign finance violation. You can still identify it if you want to substantiate the dark money claim, but that's not the point. West Realmshire Services, listed as the official political action committee for FTX, gave $1 million to Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell's Senate Leadership Fund, as well as $750,000 to House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy's Congressional Leadership Fund. All of this dirty money was used in service of Bankman-Fried's desire to buy bipartisan influence and impact the direction of public policy in Washington. Yada, yada, yada. Just a cool $750,000 to Kevin McCarthy. And you can sort of understand why some people might not support Kevin McCarthy's run for the speaker. But it gets a little worse from there, people. I'm going to pull it up, and then I'm going to give everyone the caveat that Robert Barnes has given many a times. Here we go. Because if you had any doubts about Kevin McCarthy by virtue of the fact that he's taking donations from political action committees that are, with FTX, alleged fraudster Sam Bankman-Fried, he's also on the World Economic Forum webpage. Now, this is a screen grab of his landing page on the WEF. In fact, let's just see if he's still there, because maybe he insisted that the WEF take his name and face off their website. He hasn't. World Economic Forum, Kevin McCarthy, Congressman from California, Republican, 23rd District, U.S. House Foreign Affairs Committee. Majority Leader of the House of Representatives. Now, we have talked about this with Robert Barnes on the channel, on our streams, many, many times. Robert is, not only is he not wrong, but he's right. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. The way the WEF does these things is they just create landing pages, put up people's profiles, and the more prominent the profile, the more legitimacy it lends to WEF as an entity. Like, oh, look, it's very serious. It's got Justin Trudeau, Jagmeet Singh, Chrystia Freeland, and a slew of other politicians. And it's not clear if it's with their authorization, with their permission, even with their knowledge that the WEF creates landing pages for these politicians. But if and when you discover that it's the case and you don't ask them to take it down, is that not a bit of a problem? I know the WEF, I'm reading my tweet, I know the WEF creates these landing pages, not necessarily with the permission approval of the individual, but Kevin McCarthy, did you ask the WEF to take your image off their website? Lest it create some illusion of approval association, unless, of course, you approve of it. And because the internet is much smarter than any one individual, and certainly much smarter than myself, I believe Kevin McCarthy also attended one of the WEF forums. Here we go. Let's see if this was the one. Oh, Kevin Lynch, Kevin Mahaffey, Kevin O'Donnell. That's not Kevin McCarthy. He attended in 2018. I'll see if I can find it. Just it will. Oh, if I can't find the link, people. If anybody can find that for me, it'll raise questions. Taking money from FTX, on the WEF page, attending conferences, never Googled, they say, attending conferences, and you can sort of understand why people are a little cynical, skeptical of McCarthy, opposing him at all costs. The question is just as Crenshaw is asking, what's the plan, Stan? What happens if you just continue to oppose and they can't appoint a speaker and government doesn't do anything? At the very least, the government might waste less money if they can't actually spend money and can't operate. McCarthy went to Davos in 2016, says WS84. Use control and F Viva. Why does Kevin get so much cash? Good question. So that's a bit of the problem with Kevin McCarthy. And it certainly, it will illustrate certain fundamental objections to him. From what I understand, despite all of this, McCarthy has not yet met with the people who are opposing his nomination. He keeps losing votes in each subsequent vote. He went from like 213 votes down to 200. They had the individual who I don't know what his name is, but Byron Donalds, who was one of the speaker options. This is just shocking, by the way. This is just, you understand the mentality when they talk about I don't know what words I'm allowed using without getting myself canceled, but when they talk about independent thought mentality, when someone like Byron Donalds thinks for himself, Cori Bush quickly comes in and degrades him as a man. This is Cori Bush replying or tweeting about the recommendation, the vote for Byron Donalds as potential speaker. She's a U.S. congressman, nurse, activist, single mom, pastor leading with love, fighting for regular people. She, her. Just in case anyone had any doubts. For what it's worth, FWIW, Byron Donalds is not a historic candidate for speaker. He is a prop. Despite being black, he supports a policy agenda intent on upholding and perpetuating white supremacy. His name being in the mix is not progress. It's pathetic. So how do we break this one down a little bit? Because it very much sounds to me like Cori Bush just called Byron Donalds on Uncle Tom. I had to look up to make sure that the term was, in fact, the right term. We know the song Uncle Tom definition. Offensive. A black man considered to be excessively obedient or servile to white people. A person regarded as betraying their culture or social allegiance. Yes, it sounds exactly to me like Cori Bush suggested, implied that Byron Donalds is the online definition of Uncle Tom in having violated, servient to white people and having violated his culture and race and ethnicity and heritage. He's not a historical black candidate for speaker. He is a prop. That's interesting. I mean, that shows you a bit of the thought process of Cori Bush. Confession through projection, much. Despite being black, he's a traitor. He's the black face of white supremacy. I mean, it's another Larry Elder. The second anybody dare deviate from the cult, they become a face of. Imagine suggesting that a free-thinking black American, liberty-loving, pro-Trump, pro-Second Amendment, pro-life, husband, father to three, congressman, Florida 19, official account. Imagine suggesting that a free-thinking black man, first of all, as if you got to demean his accomplishments. When Ketanji Brown becomes the first black woman Supreme Court justice, ironic in that she can't even identify what a woman is, but set that aside. When she becomes the first black woman Supreme Court justice, it's magnificent. But hold on a second. Now that if I'm applying this logic, is she a prop? I mean, were the Democrats using her as a prop? There's far more evidence to support that theory. Joe Biden saying, I'm going to pick someone, but they're going to be a black woman. Yeah. Meritocracy be damned. This is going to be ethnicrosity. Ethnic, well, you know what I'm saying. So Does she view Ketanji Brown as a prop? I suspect she does, but it's her prop. It's a Democrat prop. Therefore, despite being black, he supports a policy agenda intent on upholding and perpetuating white supremacy. His name being in the mix, it's not progress, it's pathetic. Shame. Cori Bush with a take that should make Donald's is a goat. I can't read the rest of that. Goat is the greatest of all time. So that it reveals everything. You know, it might reveal some stubbornness in the holdouts. It has revealed what many have already suspected about Dan Crenshaw, referring to the holdouts as terrorists and children. You know, agree with us, or you are a terrorist, an ideological political terrorist. Agree with us, or you're a race traitor. Agree with us, or you are the black face of white supremacy. Does everybody know about that? Like, I take for granted everybody knows these things. Share screen. Hold on. Let me. No, I don't want to go there. Let me just say this. I take for granted everybody knows that. White face of black super. Why do I keep doing it that way? Black face of white, and we'll get with that. This was from the LA Times. Larry Elder is the black face of white supremacy. You've been warned. And these assholes want to lecture us on hate speech? That is hate speech. That is racist hate speech. A black man who thinks for himself becomes the face of white supremacy. Okay. McCarthy, hold on. I had the latest here. Let's just. I don't think anything new has happened. It's fun. It's fun watching this, not from a watching it burn perspective. It's fun watching this because this is indeed revelatory. What the heck is going on here? It's revelatory of who people are. You see the juvenile nature of, God darn it. What the? Okay, sorry. This is impossible. Archive. You see the juvenile nature of the left. They are happy watching it burn because they can exploit it for political profit. It reveals character on the right, character or lack thereof, stubbornness. Okay, I don't know if there's any news. Anybody, let me go to the chat in locals and see if there's been any news. People in the chat in locals, we got to McCarthy. Here we go. Okay, this is from P. Fitzer. JP Hiker, a tweet from Kevin McCarthy with Mitch's wife at a Klaus Schwab WEF conference is all you need to know. Here we go. Our locals community, vivabarneslaw.locals.com, is a wonderful community. It's an intelligent community. It's a respectful community. Here we go. Check this out. Okay. Now all that I need to do is just do this. Once bitten, twice shy, people. Save image as. Let's go, Kevin. And I'm going to take it out and just Google that. I'm going to reverse image search. Make sure that is a legit picture. You can never know these days. TinEye.com. Everybody's familiar with TinEye. TinEye is a reverse image search. And I'm going to go just reverse image search this in real time so I don't get screwed again. It says it didn't match any searches. Well, I'm going to have to go verify that because I don't want to. So for the time being, we're going to put that on maybes. Hold on a second. Let me just see. Let me see in the comments if anyone identified that as being fake. Trump was at a WF conference too. Rhino is a CCC spy. Okay, whatever. Anyhow, so that's it. The updates. I don't think there's any. Still a speaker stalemate, according to Fox News. Okay. I forgot something, by the way, when it came to Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson having his license looked at, being investigated by investigators from his professional body because they didn't like certain tweets that he put on the Twitterverse. I almost forgot about this. My tweet, before we get into the thread of it, and it's glorious. In communist Canada, hyperbolic. Government-subsidized journalists target ideological dissent, dissidents, and perpetrators of wrongthink by trying to rat them out to licensing bodies' authorities. They also pretend not to understand sarcasm and context when convenient. And it's in reference to a Rachel Gilmore tweet. Now, I'm always reluctant or hesitant to address Rachel Gilmore's tweets because the way Rachel's MO goes is that she will dish it out and attack people and literally try to get them in trouble with their licensing bodies. And you'll see it here. And then when people critique her, she's going to then claim that she's being targeted by big bad bully men who are, picking on her, and that her inbox and Twitter feed gets overloaded with negative, nasty comments. So I'm asking everybody who's watching this, express your disagreement politely, respectfully, and not in a manner that then allows people to purport to be the victims when they are in fact the aggressors. This is the tweet from Rachel Gilmore as relates to Jordan Peterson. Oh, I'd like to see a fuller representation of the tweets that got Jordan Peterson in trouble with the College of Psychologists. For example, this piece referring to the National Post article fails to mention whether his professional association took issue with this one. Oh, and like anybody doesn't understand what she's doing right now. Oh, I'd like to see the full list. Were you guys aware of this one? Hey, Order of Psychologists, College of Psychologists, Canadian government, Daddy, Justin Trudeau, were you aware of this tweet from Jordan Peterson? Oh, and what's the tweet? It's a tweet from Jordan Peterson replying to Robert Reich, where Reich says, let me see, we can see it. Elon Musk and his enablers have turned this website into a torrent of ad hominem attacks, lies floated as jokes, and blatant misinformation. This isn't freedom of speech. It's just dangerous. Ironic here, by the way, his enablers is an ad hominem attack. Elon Musk and his enablers, ad hominem, have turned this into a torrent of ad hominem attacks. Oh yeah, by me. Lies floated as jokes and blatant misinformation. Blatant. This isn't freedom of speech. It's just dangerous. And Jordan Peterson responds, and it's getting just impossible to find child porn. Smiley face. It seems to me that Rachel Gilmore is attempting to suggest that there was an element of seriousness in order to make that tweet inappropriate and making it, oh, did the article reference this tweet or this one? Or I'm not saying you should get in trouble for it, College of Psychologists, but you might want to look at it as if nobody understands what exactly Jordan Peterson was getting at in that tweet to rub in the face of Robert Reich that while those idiots make fun of Elon Musk for baseless misinformation allegations that it's turned into hate. What is it? Ad hominem attacks? Oh, yeah, Twitter just turned into that. Twitter has never been about ad hominem attacks before, Rob Reich. You're right. It was a wonderful circle of love. It was a kumbaya of love up until Elon took it over. My God, give me a flipping break. Twitter has always been a cesspool of ad hominem attacks. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Oh, no, but it's just turned into that. It was beautiful before. It was daisies and children dancing in the snowflakes and Skittles. Lies. What was I saying? Oh, so while Rob Reich is attacking Elon Musk for a stupid, dishonest, and disingenuous reason, Jordan Peterson is highlighting the fact that in the meantime, while these blue checkmark idiots feign faux outrage about what Twitter is that it always was, Elon has actively gone after accounts that were hosting, sharing, promoting egregious sexual, inappropriate, and illegal content. This was a known problem to Twitter before Musk was there. Known to Twitter, which also means it was known to the FBI, now that we know of the FBI's active involvement in Twitter. It was a known problem to Twitter. Known to Vijay Gad. They were actually sued by a victim who alleged that Twitter failed to take down sexually explicit material of a minor taken without their consent, which he and his parents asked them to take down, and they refused to take it down because it didn't violate Twitter rules. They knew it was a problem. It's been a problem for a while. Eliza Blue, for those of you who don't know her, raising awareness of these issues on Twitter for a while. It seems not only did Twitter know about it and tolerate it, other entities also knew about it and tolerated it. But Elon Musk, no. And he vowed to Eliza Blue, he says, I'm going to tackle the CP, the sexually explicit illegal material, and canceled. I think he deleted like 44,000 accounts that were related to the content. So while Rob Reich pretends that Twitter's going down the bowels, the toilet, Jordan Peterson saying, oh yeah, but ignore the fact that Elon is making it much harder for child pornography to be hosted on the platform. And Rachel Gilmore suggests that there's something inappropriate with this tweet, but tongue in cheek, haha. Rachel Gilmore is a journalist, literally using her platform and her status as a journalist to hold citizens responsible to the government and not the government responsible to the citizens through disingenuous and dishonest tweets that suggest that there was an element of seriousness to lend to the inappropriateness of Jordan Peterson's tweet. I almost forgot to bring that one up. Okay. And let me see what else there was here. Okay, this was the tweet. And there were more. I want to know what criticize means here as a joke. Okay, it doesn't matter. But if you're going to express your disagreement with Rachel, do it respectfully. Do it in a manner that will not make me look bad. But of course, there are bad players out there who are deliberately going to do it in a way that might make me look bad, because then it allows them to say, look, someone talked about me and look how bad his followers are. When I'm thoroughly convinced that none of the people who subscribe to this channel, none of the people in our Viva Barnes Law locals community would engage in that type of conduct, because that's not who we are and that's not what we stand for. Oh, people are saying it's Robert Risch. I like to do the Robert Reich. I actually knew a Reich, and they went by Reich, but I think phonetically it's supposed to be Reich. Okay, I had more stuff in the background that I don't want to forget about. Hold on. Okay, what's this tweet? Not now. Okay, this we covered at the beginning. Got it. Good. Let me see what else we got. Okay, this was the tweet about SBF having given $750,000 to McCarthy. Okay, we got that. That's the Joe Rogan. Okay, we got that as well. So okay, I think we've done good here, people. I'm going to go to the chat in a second. Okay, breaking news updates is that Fox McCarthy tries to secure. We got that. Oh well, let's. I'm not that good at memes, but every now and again I get one. Rob Risch. Extreme MAGA House Republicans are already achieving part of their goal, preventing the U.S. government from functioning. That might actually save a lot of lives. That might save a lot of money. The idea that how the government hasn't been functioning by siphoning off billions and hundreds of billions of dollars to fund foreign conflict, to drone bomb weddings. If that's functioning, maybe dysfunction is not a bad thing. But it's the extreme MAGA House Republicans. The NPCs have had the chip implant. The update is now extreme MAGA Republicans. It starts with the president, and then it trickles down to all of his minions. Say the line, Rob. Extreme MAGA Republican. Yay! It's not an accident. People think when people say things are orchestrated, they're coordinated, like there's a memo coming from the White House to tell everybody, now you shall employ this terminology. It's part of the game. Everybody knows. They take their cues. They take their hints. Deplorables. When Hillary Clinton used deplorables to describe Republicans, it's only a matter of time before the minions got the update. That's the term now we should use. We don't need instructions. We don't need an email. We don't need someone coming and say, hey, this is it. We know it. When Justin Trudeau, came out with his anti-vax positions, people knew. They took their cues. When Joe Biden in his crimson speech, extreme MAGA Republicans are threatened. Hey, the idiot NPC non-playable characters, non-programmed characters, they know, they take the hint. Look at the weather. Cyclone bomb. Name see Jack. What does that say there? Namak Jack. Look at the weather, Viva. Cyclone bomb. What is that? Okay. Let's go to the chat in vivabarneslaw.locals.com. New York Post has them labeled as saboteurs on the front page. Viva didn't pull this up, did he? Hold on. Looks like a tweet. Hold on. What's this tweet? What's the tweet? It says it doesn't. Oh, Joe Mascu. I can't see the tweet. Oh, it might have been the WEF. I'm getting a little nervous because that picture of McCarthy on stage in this tweet, Tin Eye is not the best. Hold on 1 second. Okay. This image, if anybody can authenticate the image, because Tin Eye is not the best, but this image in reverse search did not come up in Tin Eye. And now that I look and I want to get like super, super crazy analytical, do those names look good? It's a highly pixelated image. That's all the image there is. Chat, if you can find the confirmation for that, it'll make me less nervous that it's a doctored image. In Rumble, Barnes will be back Sunday from Rob A. This is correct. We are having our first stream of the year Sunday, and we're going to have a lot to talk about. But I guess he didn't do a bourbon with Barnes yesterday. I'm going to go live on Locals exclusive later on, just for the Locals community. But I don't think we have anything more to do today, people. You met George Alexopoulos. I'm going to put his links up in the pinned comments. McCarthy, no updates, which is an update. Peterson, the re-education of Canadian citizens continues, and the full transformation of Canada into China will make Justin Trudeau proud. He will have great admiration for his own administration for having done it. Okay. What are we gonna play us out with today? I'm gonna go back to the chat. Okay, JP Hiker. I see that. Okay. There's no more update in the chat on Locals. All right, what do we end today's stream with? I think it's going to be fishing. Oh, have I showed? I played my fishing show, my fish story twice. Catch and cook is too long. That fish, that's too long. Let's just see. I'm gonna get something good. I'm gonna get something good here. Give me a second. All right, let's go to my first walleye. It's a bit of a long video, but it'll be fun to watch. Chat, everyone. I'll be live on Locals this afternoon. Locals exclusive. Hold on. Before I forget. Very bad at even promoting my own stuff. If you want merch, get some merch. Viva Barnes Law, Viva Barnes University, not a real university. There it is. We'll be wild, people. The tweet that sparked an insurrection. Go to January. There'll be a protest. We'll be wild. But let's ignore the peaceful protests. Support the police. We are the party of law and order. We'll be wild. As if that's now incitement. We'll be wild. It was wild. Is now bad speech. It's bad speech and wrongthink. Everybody, thank you all for being here. Do not lose faith, but do not keep blind faith. Do not conduct yourselves in a manner that would make your parents, your children, or your pets ashamed of you. You want the white pill is going to be a fishing video, Nature Lover Freedom. The white pill, I guess the white pill really is the disagreement that we're seeing right now among the Republicans to appoint the Speaker of the House. It's being made fun of. It's being called obstruction. It's a white pill because it's revealing that, first of all, one party is not a monolithic cult. They don't sit there chanting McCarthy, McCarthy. It's not a monolithic cult. It's a party that has internal disagreements. It's also a white pill because it's showing the powers that be that they cannot rely on the blind adherence of their constituents, of their supporters. It is also a way of keeping power in check. This will resolve itself. It will resolve itself. People are going to understand that there are diverging interests now and that they have to listen to them. I think it's a white pill as well because I don't like doing the left and right thing on an individual basis because there are good liberals, there are good Democrats, and you don't even need to say this. On a political basis, the Democrat Party acts like a cult. And it's not to say that to some extent the Republican Party doesn't or conservatives don't as well. But excommunications, agree with our thought or we will literally unperson you. Behavior-wise, talking points-wise, that's a white pill. I think it's revealing people for who they are. It's revealing political parties for what they are. This will resolve itself as things always tend to do, but it will resolve itself for the better. All right. And with that said, vivafrei.com for merch. With that said, let us play us out with a fishing video. The first time I ever caught a walleye. And by the way, literally, I think I might have caught one walleye once upon a time, but we're going to do it. Everybody enjoy the day. Get out there, exercise, sunlight, talk to people, even people you don't like. Maybe not. Even people whose ideas you may not like. At the end of the day, people have to accept and understand that we will not agree with everything everyone else has to say. Heck, I have not even agreed with everything I've had to say. But get out there and talk to people because people, generally speaking, are good. People, generally speaking, want to get along and they want to make progress. And you just have to watch out for the predators. So, well, that just got dark real quick. All right, enjoy it. Speaking of predators and prey, here's a fishing video.
Who would be interested in a Viva live stream fishing afternoon stream? Yes, but don't catch turtles? No, even with turtles. Yes, 74%.
I just want you to know, I think this is a bad idea.
In terms
Of bringing your canoe out into the middle of the lake. I'm just documenting it because I think it's a bad idea.
Okay.
I don't want you to say, why didn't you tell me it was a bad idea?
I'll say exactly what's going on here. Okay.
That water has already gotten in the boat.
Okay, hands are a little wet already. Okay, hold on.
You could just go and enjoy 2 hours of fishing.
Enjoy this. Black box we'll put here. Okay, jacket just in case.
It's like you're bringing 2,000 friends fishing with you.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna put 2,000 people to glove. Okay, paddle. Bag is important. Okay, what time is it? All right. See you soon.
5 minutes later.
It was almost perfect. Look at this. Look at this. I rolled up my pants. I was in the water, and I brought a rubber bag. I brought a plastic bag. I went out in the canoe. All my fishing gear, my computer, my iPhone on a tripod. It wasn't going to work. At least not today.
Whoa, what kind of fish is this? This is a bass. Oh my gosh.
What?
Is it a walleye? It's a walleye. Are you recording?
Yeah.
I've never caught a walleye before in my life. I don't think we're allowed keeping them. In fact, I'm fairly certain we're not allowed keeping them because it's a spawning season. I've never caught a walleye before. Oh my God, it's a big one too. Oh my good gosh. Come on. You cannot lip a walleye. Oh my gosh! I've never caught a walleye before. Ethan, I've never caught a walleye before. This is a beautiful fish. Oh my goodness, put him back quickly.
Daddy?
Yep.
I keep accidentally putting my finger on the screen.
It's okay, it's okay.
But that actually is a walleye.
That's a walleye. Oh my gosh. Okay. I've never caught a walleye before. Its skin it's very rough. It's not soft. Are you getting this?
Yeah.
You getting this? Okay, we're gonna put it back. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Go make babies. Wait, come here, quick. Oh, it's off. Did you get that?
Yep.
I've never.
The next day.
You feel it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Oh. Whoa. Big, beautiful bass. Bring it over here. Oh, stop reeling. Stop.
It's okay. Grab the camera.
Okay, where?
It's on that little thing there.
Is that an
We got it. Oh my gosh, it's gonna unhook itself. Got it. Ethan, look at that. It just unhooked itself. That is...
Are we allowed to eat those things?
Yeah, you're allowed to eat a bass, but we're going to put it back anyhow.
No.
We are putting it back.
Why?
Look at that beautiful dorsal fin.
Can I hold it?
Yeah, here. You gotta cup it under the belly because it's got spikes on its back. Give me the camera.
I want to release it.
Hands out, belly flat. Okay. Look at that beautiful fish. Now put it in the water. Go. And it's off.
Can I put...
Fisherman's handshake. Booyah. Good? Slimy? Smell your hands. Smells like fish.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. Booyah. Okay, the snake is swimming across the water. There it is right there. Okay, you can't really see it, but it's a snake. We need a little Eye of the Tiger music to motivate this snake. Dun, 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 dun. That is really, really cool. But look, I'm not gonna lie. I really hope a fish comes and devours that snake. No, it didn't die. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay.
It died.
It's right in front of the little moss patch.
It died.
Dude, its head is out there and it's just thinking about life now. Oh, I bet you a turtle could get it in there. Snake's off. That is so cool.
Because I scared him and said people were going to...
Shh, shh, shh.
I'm going to go to the other side.
No, you are not. No, you're not. The other side's private property. Okay, just keep looking. A turtle's going to snatch it out of the water. Come on. Just once. Just once. A massive snapping turtle or a beaver fish. It's too far now. See, if that were a lure. Look at the snake. Look at the snake. It's past the log. Oh, I think it's climbing the log.
Bear Grylls is going to try and catch it with his bare hands. I hate snakes.
I love snakes.
Got it. Got it.
Does that bite?
No, it's a garter snake. They don't have teeth. It will emit a stinky white substance from its butthole.
Can I touch it?
Oh, wait, just be
Can I hold it?
Yeah, here. What a
I'm
luck.
filming in vertical.
You're in vertical? That'll be good for a YouTube short. Here, come look. So just put your hands up. Put your hands up. There you go. Okay, now don't squeeze it. Don't squeeze
Oh,
it.
it's
Just
just like Gatorland.
this is
Whoa.
amazing.
I like it.
Put your hands up.
Snakes I don't do. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it smells. It smells. Do you smell what it's? Do you smell it? Oh my God, that smells. Okay, I'm gonna put it down.
Okay.
Oh, it emits a foul odor.
I don't. My hands don't
Okay, well
smell.
get close into its face. I'm gonna see it.
My hands don't smell.
My hands
Ooh.
stink.
Cute.
Okay, I'm gonna put it away.
Mine down.
Here. Okay, you ready?
Oh, is it on the floor?
Oh, okay, here we go. It's off. Okay.
Totally
So just like
terrified.
that.
I like snakes
Well, it's
now.
actually, and what's amazing about it is that it's warm.
Ugh.
Oh, smell my hand. Smell my hand.
Hey.
Smell my hand.
Dad, I know so much about snakes.
It smells like burning.
Can I smell? Dad, I know so much about snakes. I watched the Snake Discovery.